Economics explains capitalism for people that want to live a life with minimal government intrusion and maximum freedom. This may be one of the reasons why capitalism is often a source of so much innovation and productivity. The ability for an individual to earn economic profits and accumulate wealth tends to encourage people to seek more efficient ways to produce new and better goods and services.
To explain capitalism, you have to explain the main catalyst or driver behind that, and that's about innovation. It's our ability to recreate. Now, you can only be resourceful and innovative because that means taking on risks if the part of the broader social system allows you to take those risks, if it supports risk-taking. That's why we, again, come back to economics being part of the wider social system.
Capitalism is a system of power relations. The free market, or the semi-free market, or anyway, the market that economics claims to explain and understand only exists because it's rooted in human institutions, most obviously the rule of law. If you really want to understand capitalism, I think you need to understand politics and history and philosophy and psychology.
In terms of a focus on the private sector as the main driver of economic activity, and as well as a smaller role for government, are the things that I think we tend to associate with capitalism. Free market would be the key concepts. We don't have to associate those things. We don't have to associate economics and capitalism only. Economics can also take us into a completely different direction.
Capitalism has different strains or different variants. There is this kind of Washington consensus driven assumption that markets do things most efficiently and usually get things right. And so the more that you can just let markets work, the better your economy is going to be. A lot of people do feel that capitalism isn't really working for them. It's left a lot of people behind. The kinds of liberal elite ideas that go along with capitalism, like globalization, haven't served everyone.
We've had the economics of Henry Ford's capitalism. And now the question is, are we going to have the economics of platform capitalism? Or are we going to have the economics of something better than the current model of the fourth industrial revolution?
The explanation of capitalism is a project to which mainstream economists have contributed nothing for about half a century. A principal reason is that capitalism is a historical phenomenon, not an abstract or ideal system, still less a mathematical model. To explain it, one needs to place it firmly in historical perspective.
There's an enormous complementarity on things that are organized collectively and things that are organized through markets. So I think that's the society we live in, and that part of the problem, part of the ideology of thinking that a society could potentially have been organized only through markets, and that if left on their own, they would do great things and so on. Call whatever you want the society we live in. I would leave that to the historians. I think we should all be focused on how to make it better.
In academic circles, capitalism tends to be defined as a social order based on the private ownership of the means of production, in contrast to socialism, which is marked by the socialization of productive capital. I find this approach to capitalism gravely deficient. Capitalism is a system of social relations, which is above all committed to the pursuit of profit, to the profit motive. Through such supporting institutions, and am I stressing on supporting institutions as markets and the private control of productive capital, this process has distributive outcomes, namely rising inequalities.
Yo no voy a entrar en la definición económica clásica del capitalismo, pero sí tengo claramente que es absolutamente funcional a otras estructuras de poder, centralmente el patriarcado. Bien, ya no hay más reducto en lo cual esta fuerza de producción del capital no esté llegando hacia dejar totalmente desvanecidas y sin fuerzas a gran parte de la población. Pero esto también se traslada sobre los impactos que está teniendo en términos climáticos y medioambientales.
Capitalism has been the force, that has really helped to provide incentives to drive the economy and increase the size of the pie. There are ups and downs and issues, but it is what it is.